ahead and call the meeting of the Silver Falls School Board to order. I'd like to welcome our audience this evening. Please join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a couple action items to start off with. First is nomination of a board chair. We have a motion.
I nominate Tim Roth.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to make Tim Roth our new board chairman. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's all yours.
That was quick. I'm glad there's nobody, or not many. Okay, we need to nominate and elect a vice chair. Is there a nomination for vice chair?
Nominate Wally for vice chair.
Wally's nominated. Is there a second?
A second nomination.
Okay. Wally's been nominated, second for vice chair. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Or against? Okay, that's done. Okay, is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as revised.
Second?
I need to abstain from item 4D,
Okay.
conflict of interest.
No, that is. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, consent agenda passes. Audience with visitors. You're good? Good to know, Jim. Okay, discussion items. We have some revisions to policies EEA, EEAB, EEAC, EEAE, EEBAA, and GCAB, all second readings. Is there any discussion on any of those? Okay, good. Budget committee vacancies. I know we had two. Andy, do you have any updates on that?
You have two vacancies. We have received verbal confirmation from Kurt Metzger. He's interested. I sent him an email today to confirm that interest. And I also received an email from Allison Newton, who I think all of you or many of you are familiar with. She attends a few board meetings. Very active parent and patron in the community, and she's interested in being a budget committee member as well. I have a third person that was suggested that I'm seeking a response in her interest. Otherwise, it's if you have additional names, I'll follow up with those names. But currently, you have two people interested, which is great news.
When do we need to have that done by?
You can select the replacements at your next meeting now that you have two.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a month or two to get some folks, but you've got two. So if you think that's satisfactory, or unless you want us to beat the bush a little bit more, we can. But otherwise, you appear to have two very well qualified folks, and maybe a third one that I haven't heard from yet.
Okay. Does anybody have any other comments or suggestions? Okay. Maybe we should wait till the third one responds and then do it at our next meeting.
Sure, and then I can send out an email and let you know if that person is interested.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, at our June work session, we did Andy's evaluation, and Wally, do you want to take?
Yeah, I'll do a summary of what we talked about. We evaluated Andy on standards 4, 5, and 6, which is organizational management, curriculum planning and development, and instructional leadership. The board gave you very favorable marks in each of these standards. We recognize that the work done with the long-range community task force was well done. He demonstrated the ability to communicate effectively to the board and to our community and to school employees, which helped instill confidence in your leadership. Also, a large focus of this past year has been your focus in district finances. You've demonstrated thorough knowledge and command of the subject matter. Your guidance put the district in a reasonable financial position in spite of continued changes in the distribution of funding from the state. The board appreciates your efforts and willingness to regularly make site visits to each of our schools. This greatly increases your visibility to our employees, builds trust, and provides more personal communication with staff and administrators. You are an excellent model role model of respect and understanding, and are one that values children and education. You do not shy away from difficult situations. You have demonstrated humility, good communication skills, and have provided effective leadership for our school district. Some recommendations. The district needs to continue to attempt to meet the academic needs of students at every skill level and learning style. The continued use and refinement of available district-level data to refine our strategies and to meet individual students' needs will raise the academic achievement levels of our students and may provide an effective career pathway for our students for future beyond high school. We continue to work through uncertain times financially. We encourage you to be a visionary for the district and anticipate changes that will need to be addressed. Our next budget cycle may be more difficult, and your guidance and communication will be very important. The recommendations and information from the Facilities Task Force needs to be evaluated and acted upon. Issues such as capital projects, class configurations, all-day kindergarten will need to be well vetted, and the direction will need to be clearly communicated to the community and staff. We continue to anticipate issues that may have an impact on the school district, continue to make decisions that champion academic success and improvements for our students. The board thanks you for your dedication and hard work in making our district one of the best in the state of Oregon, and your commitment to our community, students, and staff. We appreciate your approachability, your willingness to listen, and your leadership in providing our students with the very best possible education. Your work in our district is truly recognized and appreciated. Thanks, Andy.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Paul.
thank you.
Good summary. Okay, next we move on to administrator and staff reports. Andy, the district facility recommendations timeline.
Yeah, the last meeting, following the recommendations from the long-range facility committee, I told you I would put together a draft timeline, and each of you has received that draft timeline tonight. It wasn't in your packet, and it's intended for you to review. And I have already got it placed as an agenda item at your work session on July 23rd, later this month. And if you'll take a look at the timeline now, you'll note right away there's some interesting things, and some things that have already occurred, some things that are beginning to occur right away. But I want you to make special note of using the facility recommendation specific to a May 2013 bond election. Now, I know you haven't taken action on that, but this timeline reflects that. So obviously, it's a bit of an evolution. This is a living document, and it will only occur as your approval warrants it, and of course, as you believe it's appropriate to do so. So in light of that, I also placed in your, with this handout, a copy of the 2013 election schedule, so you can see what the election dates are in 2013. What I haven't yet found out, and I just need to do a little bit more research, is whether all 4 of the elections beginning in March are double majority required elections for school or public entity elections, and that I haven't determined yet. I do know May 21st is not a double majority.
The only ones
election.
that are not double majority are the November and May elections.
Is
All
that
the rest
within-
of them are double majority.
No, I think the legislation has changed.
As far as the interim elections? Okay, because May was added. It used to just be November and
Okay.
primary elections, so
Okay.
they may have added more.
So I'll confirm that with you, because I think will be very important information for you to have as you move ahead with any decision specific to a bond election for this school district. Otherwise, that's for you to review between now and the July 23rd work session, and it'll be a topic of discussion then, unless you have questions this evening.
Okay. And we had scheduled our July work session to discuss the recommendations from the task force, the facilities committee, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Thanks for putting this together. I think this will really help us
Yeah.
give us some guidance as we move forward and give some timeline to try to achieve.
Any comments or discussions on this right now?
It's good for now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you, Andy.
You bet.
Jan, financial report?
You should have received the financial report in the mail. It's just preliminary. We still have some revenue to take in and some bills to pay before we know exactly what our ending fund balance is. The audit is scheduled for the 13th, 14th, and 15th of August, so we'll have pretty definite pre-audit numbers, but for your audit or your August meeting, we'll know for sure what the ending fund balance is. Okay. And I don't have anything further to add unless you have questions.
Any questions for Jan? Okay, thanks, Jan. Board reports. Anybody have anything? We're going to get out of here in record time, my word.
This just isn't right.
No, it's not right. It does not seem right.
Start asking questions.
Any correspondence, Andy? I haven't heard anything.
Each of you received an email from a patron today that I forwarded to you with my response, but other than that, nothing.
Okay. Jackie, one more chance.
I do have one question, it's quick. October 1st is the ADM. Is that a state requirement for that date?
That's what ODE uses, that's correct, to measure ADM in all district schools.
I was just thinking
For what?
For determining funding for schools, it's based on the October 1 ADM.
No, that's maybe a preliminary. That's just one of the reports.
Oh, one of them.
It's the ADM for the whole year that our funding is based on.
Okay.
And we already have preliminary estimates, and that's what the payments that we get until they update based on December 31st has already been established.
I was just saying it's hunting season, and that's the opening hunting season. So kids are gone, and they're nowhere. So that's funding that could be possibly lost.
No.
In our district, we have hunters.
Well, and
No.
it's not necessarily the enrollment on that day. It's I mean, physically present. It's
Okay.
the actual enrollment on that day. So if somebody was enrolled in school 2 or 3 days prior, they'd still be counted on that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they're
And it could be for some other calculations, but not for the state school fund.
It is. It's used for the free and reduced lunch calculation, in which regulates or
Title
determines
I.
the Title I allocation.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking there was some floating money because of that. You know, I'm sure there's several hundreds of kids throughout the district that go hunting, especially.
Well, and you're referring to attendance.
Yes.
And their membership is there. Unless they're gone for 10 days straight, they're still on the rolls.
Okay.
It's our comparison year to year, though, too, Jackie. That's what we use as a year-to-year
Yes.
comparison. And so we're comparing apples to apples. Yeah.
That's all.
Thanks, Jackie. Okay, we have just one action item tonight, the approval of our employment contract for this next year with Andy. Any discussion on that? It was in our packet.
Move for approval.
Second?
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approved. And I guess we have nothing else, so we're done in 15 minutes. Does not seem right.
This is a record.
Should have elected that too.
We should have elected Tim.
Yeah.